Assalamu alaikum guys, كيفكم? Today I want to do a video about the things that I found really weird when I first came to Jordan but became very normal to me over the years. I'm just going to dive straight in without any introduction. The first thing that I found really weird was when families live all in the same building. So what tends to happen in Jordan is people tend to want to live quite close to their families. So close that they live on top of their families. So what happens is, say a family has got a villa, which is like a bungalow here in Jordan. They will build a second floor on top of their bungalow. And often what you see is before they've built the next floor, they've laid the foundations for the next floor by putting these great big pillars up. So you'll see like a really pretty house, and then on top of this pretty house there are these giant pillars with cables sticking out of them. You're like, what is this? That's it for preparation for the future, so that they can build on top of it. So what will happen is when the eldest son gets married, the family will say, would you like us to build? Well, maybe it's not a question. Maybe they'll tell them, you're going to have a building on top of our building. You're going to have a house on top of our house. And you can have your family there. So then they'll build that up there, and then when they get married, the new couple can move in, and they keep going and going and going. Or what they'll do is they will build it all in one go. If they've got the money to do it, they'll build it all in one go, in anticipation of when their children grow up. It's not just the son, I don't know why I said that. When the children, like whoever it is, male or female, when they grow up, they can live on top of the building. I think I said that because the men usually want to live near their families. So the daughters will move away to wherever the husband's family is. Anyway, so yeah, before we bought our house, alhamdulillah, we were saying that in the future we wanted to live with my in-laws. So we were like looking for houses where fits all of us. And people kept saying to me, what are you talking about? You want to live like in the same building as your in-laws? Are you insane? But actually it's very normal, and I really like it. And a lot of people do it. So yeah, that's number one. This video is sponsored by Barbican Pomegranate. I'm joking, that's not true. Don't demonetize my video, please, YouTube. Next thing, the cold stomach. I may have talked about this before on social media or on YouTube, I'm not sure. But it's very much relevant now because everyone's got a cold stomach because the weather just suddenly changed. If you are looking at the screen and wondering what is a cold stomach, let me explain to you. A cold stomach is when air, actual air, like wind, has touched your kidney area, your stomach area, like that kind of lower torso area. Air hits your stomach, and then like by Jordanian, I think this might spread across to other cultures, other countries as well. But the idea is, people believe that when you get this sudden rush of cold air hitting your body, you immediately get diarrhea and vomiting. When I first came here, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is everyone talking about? Clearly, people are getting food poisoning. Like, air doesn't give you diarrhea and vomiting. And so this is something that actually I know a lot of foreigners argue about. Oh, that makes me look, I've got Michelin arms. I won't do that. It's more refined. So yeah, a lot of people, a lot of foreigners will argue with their in-laws and things about this, like it doesn't exist. And that was definitely me saying, this doesn't exist. This is crazy. What are you talking about? There's no such thing as a cold stomach. Until I got a cold stomach. So maybe not last year, maybe 2 years ago, I started getting cold stomachs. I was wearing jumpers, like the one I'm wearing right now is like quite high up. And during the winter, the air was hitting my stomach and hitting my back, and I started getting a cold stomach. I don't vomit. I don't understand the whole vomiting side of it, but I do understand the other side of it. And eventually, after I'd had this like 5 or 6 times one winter, my husband was like, do you finally believe in the cold stomach? And I finally gave in, and I was like, maybe there's some sense in this. And then I remembered that back home, and back when I first arrived in Jordan and we arrived in a heat wave, I was getting a dicky tummy. That's what we call it in England, a dicky tummy. which is basically like a cold stomach, but I was getting the opposite, like a hot stomach. And this is not like something new to me either, because there are members of my family who also, when it gets too hot for them, one of their body's reactions is to need to go to the bathroom rather frequently and rather urgently. So I started thinking, like, maybe there's something true in this. Like, maybe if you're used to certain temperatures and you get shocked by another temperature, maybe there's some truth behind this. And now I give up. I believe in the cold stomach. This is I've thought of another one that's not on my list. Right, moving on to the next one. The next one is going to an emergency clinic when you've got a cold or you've got bad cramps or something like that. Going to an emergency clinic to get a needle injection of Voltaren. I thought that this was really wacky. When I first came here, I was like, this is really, really like unhealthy. This is like not normal how often people are getting Voltaren shots. I don't know if you've got Voltaren in the UK or not, but it's like paracetamol, I guess. But it's injected and you feel great afterwards. Like, it can't be that normal that you go down and it costs nothing to the local emergency clinic without a prescription or anything. You're like, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired. Can you give me a Voltaren shot? And hey presto, you're ready to go back to work. That has actually become normal to me. And last year when I felt really sick and I was struggling with the kids and everything, I was like to my husband, could you please take me to go and get a Voltaren shot? And at that point I felt like, khalas, I'm Jordanian now. Sorry, I've just realised I'm speaking really, really fast. I know that really annoys people. I just got a bit excited. The next one is using the shutters instead of the curtains. So what we've got, I've talked about this before, we've got these shutters that you open up like this and you close like this. And it like goes up and down. What am I talking about? But yeah, every single house has got one of these shutters, and they're fantastic because in the summer you can block out all of the dust when you've got sandstorms and things like that. They're really useful. And they are total blackout blinds as well. So you don't have to worry about buying a blackout blind or anything like that. They come built in the house. But you end up doing what I do here, like this, it's become normal for me, to have the curtains drawn all the time. Wait, I forget. Drawn means opened or drawn means closed. Anyway, I have the curtains closed all the time so that they become part of the scenery. And when you buy the curtains, you buy them as a way of dressing the window rather than something that you're going to use. Nearly all of the curtains in our house, we don't use them. I don't go around opening and shutting the curtains every morning because I just do that with the shutter and the curtains stay in place. It's just something that I found really peculiar when I first got here. But yeah, something that's very normal to me now. Next one, I talk about it every single winter, but I'm going to talk about it again. That is central heating. We don't have it. So I found it really peculiar when I first got to Jordan that the winters are so cold, and people often talk about how cold the winters are. People from Canada and Norway and Siberia or wherever it is are going to be looking at you like, it's cold. You think that this is cold? This is not cold, habibti. No, it is cold. And it's cold because the houses are not built for cold weather. And we've had our own mission with installing central heating. When we bought our house, we were like, my husband was like, I'm going to get central heating for my wife. I know it's not going to work. I know that this is going to be a waste of money. I know that this is going to be a disappointment. But my wife will not shut up until I give her central heating and she sees for herself that it doesn't work. And guess what? It didn't work. We paid for the most expensive thing that we could find, everything imported and all la-di-da, and it's meant to be like the best central heating ever. Does it work? Does it work? No. So yes, when people say it's not cold in winter and Jordanians don't know what cold is, actually they do know what cold is because the houses are freezing. And let me tell you, there is no house in Norway or Canada or Siberia or wherever it is where you've got really, really, really cold winters where it's as cold as it is inside a house inside Jordan. Thank you. I will wrap it up there. That was my video. I tried to keep it short and sweet. Next week's video, inshallah, will be things that I found weird when I first arrived in Jordan and that I still find weird. So thank you for watching. Ma salama. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.